This is the video for cells, which is the smallest unit on your body, and the cell theory is that all living things are made up of cells. There are two different categories. There are prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are usually unicellular without a nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. They're usually simple, and one example of this is bacteria. Eukaryotic cells are multicellular. They do include the nucleus, and they have membrane-bound organelles, and are usually found in plants, animals, protists, and fungi. And the similarities between the two, they both have ribosomes, DNA, and cytoplasm. The cell wall supports and protects the cell, whereas the cell membrane is just a thin barrier that surrounds the cell. The nucleus directs and controls the activities of the cell, and the lysosome is a membrane-bound organelle, and it contains digestive enzymes. Mitochondria breaks down the food to release energy, which is usually only found in eukaryotic cells. The vacuole is the space in the cytoplasm containing fluids, and the chloroplast, which is where the photosynthesis takes place, is a membrane-bound organelle, and it contains chlorophyll. Centrioles form centrosomes and cilia, and they develop spindle fibers. And the endoplasmic reticulum, which is referred to as the ER, have tubules with ribosomes and does protein and lipid synthesis. The Golgi apparatus is the vesicles for transport and waste secretion, and ribosomes are the site of the protein synthesis, and this is found in both, of course. Adenosine triphosphate, which is ATP, is energy. There are two different forms of transport, which is active and passive. Active requires ATP and energy. An example of this is endocytosis and exocytosis, and passive energy does not require any ATP or any energy. When a red blood cell is placed in each of the following, a hypertonic solution, it would shrink because the H2 goes out, whereas the solution on the outside has less H2O, so the H2O from the blood cell goes to the outer solution. The hypotonic solution, which is distilled H2O water, the H2O comes in because there is less water in the red blood cell than there is in the solution, so the H2O comes in and it bursts. But if it was placed in an isotonic solution, which has the same H2O levels, it would stay the same and nothing would change. So whichever way that the H2O is less in the solution will go that way. So whichever. The formula for photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6 hydrogen 2 oxygen plus light equals 6 oxygen and glucose. And the purpose of photosynthesis is to use light and CO2 to make glucose. And for aerobic respiration, the purpose is to break glucose and release energy. And this occurs in the mitochondria. Anaerobic and aerobic respiration. For aerobic, you get more ATP, and anaerobic, you get less, and different outcomes. Like there is the alcoholic fermentation, which can be in yeast, the outcome would be alcohol, CO2, and 2 ATP, and lactate acid fermentation which occurs in animals, would produce lactic acid and 2 ATP.